right, so go ahead and get to a comfortable seat, whatever that means to you. You can sit on your shins, you can cross your legs, you can lay back on your back if you'd like. If you'd like to have your legs crossed in front of you, just try not to stack your shins on top of each other. Place one in front of the other. Your dog is biting my toe. All right. If you can settle into that space, maybe take a deep breath here. Maybe let just a beam of light come to the center of your head and pour down your face, down your shoulders, just bringing a relaxing feeling down your chest, your back, through your midsection, down your hips, and through your thighs, knees, shins, calves, and feet. You can feel that relaxation and just continue to pour from the top of your head and let everything melt away. Hands can be palms down on your knees if that's comfortable for you. Just feel the grounding energy, the relaxation. Still feeling that relaxation flowing over you. Can you lift your spine nice and tall using that same point on the top of your head? Go ahead and let that relaxation take anything that's going through your mind and just let it melt down with the rest of it, all the way down into the ground. Take any tension or discomfort you have and let it flow down into the legs, out through either the soles of the feet or maybe where you're touching the mat in your legs and in your sit bones. Just let the ground gobble up all that negative energy. And then check in with your breath. No need to change it or judge it. Just pay attention to what it's doing. Can you feel your breath in the back of your throat, maybe your chest, or maybe down in the bottom of your lungs, deep into your diaphragm? Wherever your breath is now, see if you can fill that deep belly with your inhales and exhale from that diaphragm. Inhaling nice and long, filling up the entirety of the lungs, filling up the front of the lungs, the back of the lungs, left side, right side. Feeling that rib cage expand in all directions. And then exhale out, starting from way down by the diaphragm, letting that air pass through the chest, out through the back of the throat, and through the nostrils. A few more deep belly breaths like that. Activating the autonomic nervous system. Lowering cortisol levels. Bringing you into relaxation. Do a few more breaths on your own. Feeling that relaxation going through the body. And when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes and raise your gaze. Keep trying to mess with the computer, and it's not doing what I want it to. Okay. Shh. We're gonna take a few rounds of Nadi Shodhana breath together. So go ahead and take your thumb, place it on one of your nostrils. You have your peace fingers on your third eye, and your pinky and your ring finger available for the other nostril. So we'll start by just closing off the right nostril, placing those peace fingers on your third eye, and inhaling through the left nostril. We're gonna go ahead and close that nostril off and exhale out through the other side. Inhale here. Close that nostril. Release the other side and exhale out. Inhale here. Close off the nostril, release the thumb, and exhale out. Go ahead and after your inhale, close off that nostril again and exhale out the other side. You can continue to do this for a few more rounds of breath, always closing off the nostril after an inhale. And on your next exhale out of your right nostril, go ahead and release your hands and continue to breathe normally through your nostrils. See if you've noticed any change. Maybe it's more difficult to breathe. Maybe it's easier to breathe. Maybe it feels the exact same. And from here, we'll start just by stretching the arms up into the air. We'll release the shoulders down, keeping those arms nice and high, tucking those ribs back in and moving the arms back in, up into the air. From here, we're going to take one hand down to the mat and reach the other arm over top. Thumb pointed towards the back of the room. Release that shoulder from your ear in the easiest way possible. Excuse me. From here, we're going to take that shoulder down to the knee, opposite knee. So go ahead and fold forward on your exhale. We'll inhale back up, folding forward on your exhale. Inhaling back up. One more like that, folding forward on your exhale. Inhaling back up. From here, we'll reach back to the center. Again, check in with your shoulders, melt them down, tuck those ribs in, reach the fingertips up high, fingers reaching in all directions. Exhale the opposite side down, planting that hand, reaching your arm over. Thumb is pointed towards the back of the room. Side that shoulder down so your shoulder's not attacking your ear. And then maybe you want to move the shoulder back a little bit so it's in line with the other. And from here, we'll just exhale and fold forward, bringing that shoulder down to the knee. Inhaling back up. Exhaling down. Inhaling back up. Exhaling down. One more like that. Inhaling back up. From here, we'll come back to our stretch, reaching those hands into the air, melting the shoulders down and tucking the ribs back in. We'll bend one elbow down. You can place the opposite hand on top of the elbow. If you'd like, if this is enough for you, you can stay. If not, you can release your hand down and try to grab either your fingertips, your t-shirt, whatever you can reach back here. Again, check in with those ribs, make sure we're tucking them back. Nice, slow, steady breaths. Releasing any tension in your glutes, any tension in your jaw. And release your hand, bring it back up, touch that elbow again. Put both arms into the air. Let's move that opposite elbow down, placing the opposite hand on top. If you're happy here, you can stay. If you'd like to release your hand and come into your half bind, you're more than welcome to. Remembering that bodies are different and what you could do on one side, you probably might not be able to do on this side. My arm is so stiff, it's pushing my ribs out. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab my t-shirt. Releasing anything from your glutes or your jaw here. Checking in with those ribs, checking in with those shoulders. See if you can find that stretch in your upper arm, both upper arms. Release your hand back. You can bring that back to the elbow. Bring both hands up into the air. From here, we're going to stretch them out wide, like a big T. And then we're going to exhale, give yourself a big hug. One elbow overlaps the other. You can wrap your fingertips around your shoulder blades if that's available to you. But from here, make sure you melt those shoulders down your back, like they're running away from your ears. On your next exhale, we'll do a nice big T again. Inhale here, nice and big. And then exhale to cross the opposite arm over top, walking those fingertips back if you can, if that's available to you, melting those shoulders down your back. See if you can feel a stretch in your upper arms. Or maybe your shoulder blades. Releasing any tension in your glutes or jaw. Make mention, notion, just think, just realize, I can't think of the word I'm thinking of, but just think a moment. I'm giving myself a big hug. Isn't that wonderful? I love giving myself a big hug. I'm so great. I'm the best hugger ever. Or something along those lines. On your next exhale, we'll open up to a big T again. Press the hands away from you, like you're pushing the walls away. If this isn't available to you, you can always bend your fingers or make fists. But from here, see if you can rotate the shoulders in the sockets. Nice big rotations, full arms, really opening up those shoulders, maybe in a awkward position you're not really used to doing. And then when you're ready, you can release those arms down, give your shoulders a little shake out, maybe some circles backwards and forwards. Sigh your shoulders up to your ears and release them down. We'll extend our legs out in front for a gentle twist. You can give your knees a nice shake out here. Hug one leg into the chest nice and tight. Place the foot on the outside of the extended leg. Foot is flexed. When you're all nice and tight in here, you can take your, opposite arm as leg, hook that elbow to the knee and twist to the back of the room. Hopefully you'll hear some crunchies or some pops. See if you can feel space in your hip. See if you can press both sit bones into the ground. Give yourself a little more space in that outer leg around your hip. Inhale, nice long spine. Exhaling to the back of the room. Inhaling for a long spine. Exhaling to the back. Inhaling for a nice long spine. Exhaling to the back of the room. On your next exhale, you can make a nice little counter twist to the other side. And inhale back to center and give your knees a little shake again. And then hug that other leg into your chest nice and tight, placing that foot on the outside of the straight leg, flexing that foot. When you're holding that in nice and tight, you can hook the opposite elbow onto that knee and twist your body to the back of the room. See if you can press that sit bone into the ground, maybe get a little bit more space in that outer thigh area. So twist to the back. Inhaling for a nice long spine. Exhaling to the back of the room. Inhale, long spine. Exhale to the back. One more like that. Inhaling, nice long spine, and exhaling to the back of the room. Inhale here, and on your next exhale, you can do a nice little counter twist to the opposite side. Release your leg down. Give your knees a little shake back and forth. And roll. From here, see if you can make your spine nice and long and tall again. We'll lift the arms up into the air, and then exhale to fold forward. You can keep your spine nice and straight. You can place your hands, there's my spine nice and straight. You can place your hands on your shins, on your toes, wherever it's available to you, but try not to round in your back. You see I came up quite a little bit when I straightened out my spine. This is just to stretch your spine, not to be the one who folds best. And on your next exhale, we'll come back up. Place your hands behind you. So your thumbs point towards the center of the room, your fingertips behind you. And we're just gonna shine that chest to the ceiling. Exhale to come forward. Next, we will come up on our shins and tuck your toes under here if you'd like a little toe stretch. Help your toes if they don't quite make it. My pinky's too small to quite make it. You can take your fingers and you can walk them backwards, bring them up on your knees. Whatever you'd like to do here. If this is too intense of a stretch, you can always bring your fingertips down to the mat. All right, if your fingertips are down at the mat, walk them back so they're close to your knees. We're gonna bring the hips up and the chest up into the air. Imagine there is a piece of fishing line on your belly button. You're gonna pull that belly button forward. Toes are tucked under. If they aren't already, go ahead and tuck them under. We're gonna inhale the arms into the air. You can open up your ribs here. That's quite all right. I'm going to start with the right arm and just release it back in a big arc back to that back ankle. And then if that feels good and nice and available to you, you can bring that other arm back in the same arching motion. And from here, you can pull that belly button forward with that piece of fishing line. And just breathe here. Release any tension you have in your glutes. Release any tension from your jaw. On your next exhale, you can release one hand from your ankle, swing it all the way forward. Release the other hand, swing it all the way forward. Release your toes down to the mat so that they're gluing themselves down to the mat. And then come down into your tabletop pose. Knees are underneath your hips. Hands are underneath your shoulders. Take a nice deep breath here. Exhale all the air out. Check in with your tailbone. Do a nice little tilt and tuck a few times, just warming up your hips there. When you're ready, we'll come to a nice neutral spine. We're going to extend the left arm out in front. Breathing here, feeling the center point of our gravity at our belly button. We can pull that belly button and those low abdominals together, we can be stable. Feel your opposite hand reaching towards your same knee as arm is up. From here, we're going to extend the leg back. Which leg, Maggie? The opposite one as arm is forward. Feeling nice and balanced here, we're going to bring the elbow to the knee at the belly button. Exhale all the air out, elbow to knee. Inhale nice and long. Exhale all your air out, elbow to knee. Inhale nice and long. One more time like that. Exhaling out, elbow to knee. Inhaling back nice and long. Placing that foot back down onto the mat. Extending the opposite hand forward. Breathing here. Checking in with your arm that's straight. Pulling it towards the same knee that is up in the air. We're going to bring that opposite leg back. Breathing here, stretching in both directions, feeling the hand stretch in the opposite direction of the foot. We're going to center in on that belly button again. Thinking about the belly button, exhaling all that air out, pulling the elbow towards the knee. Inhaling nice and long. Exhaling towards the belly button, elbow to knee. Inhale nice and long. Exhaling belly button, elbow to knee. Inhale long. And then you can place that hand and foot back down onto the mat. Coming into a neutral spine here, you can give your hips a little shake out back and forth. You can give your pelvis a little tilt and tuck. And when you're ready, we'll drop that udder down, shine that chest forward, and bring the head up for cow pose. Do some few rounds of breath here, inhales and exhales in your cow. See how extreme you can bring those back hip bones pointed towards the ceiling. See how much you can glue the tops of the feet down to the mat and shine that chest through your arms. On your next exhale, we're going to zero in on that belly button again. This time we're going to pull it towards the back of the spine. Like there's a belt around us, lifting us up. Like a crane has a big hook and I'm just hanging from it. Option to go up on the toes here. Option to go up on tented fingertips here. Really coming into an extreme cat pose, rounding in the back, releasing in the glutes and the jaw. I'm going through a few rounds of breath here. On your next inhale, you can bring the tops of the feet down to the mat. Bring your palms down to the mat. Inhale for cow pose, dropping the udder down, shining the chest forward. On your next exhale, you can round into cat pose, pulling that belly button back through the spine, releasing your glutes, releasing your jaw, tucking those toes under and bringing your hands up to fingertips. On your next inhale, you can come into cow pose. On your next exhale, you can come into cat pose. Go ahead and do this on your own breath and your own pace. Moving your spine with each exhale or each inhale. When you've gone through a few rounds, you can start to make S and C curves in the spine. You can play jump rope with your spine. Come in for a baby chaturanga or a baby child's pose. As you come into your cat pose, see if you can push the ground away from you. And when you've had enough of that, we'll come into a nice neutral spine here. Give your hips a little shake out. You can tuck those toes under and press those hips back for downward facing dog. You can pedal out through the feet here, stretching the back of those calf muscles. When you're ready, you can inhale those, inhale up to the tippy tip toes, and then exhale those heels, pulling them back down to the mat. Pressing those sit bones into the upper corner of where the wall meets the ceiling. Releasing the head down, you can nod your head yes, you can shake your head no, move your head out of no. On your next exhale, let's step forward. So you're gonna forward fold at the front of the mat. This forward fold can be as shallow or as deep as you want. Your knees can be bent or straight. Just relax into your fold. Maybe you release your hands and sway your arms back and forth. Maybe you sway your whole body back and forth, leading with the arms. Maybe you make a figure eight or an infinity symbol or a Mobius strip with your tailbone. Your hands can be loosely swaying, they can be on the mat supporting you, whatever you'd like to do. When you're ready to come to stillness, you can release down into that fold a little bit deeper, maybe a millimeter deeper. From here, we'll place our hands on the shins and make a nice long flat back. On your next exhale, we'll slowly fold forward again, feeling those sit bones pointed towards the sky. I mean, probably towards the back of the room. But imagine they're pointing towards the sky. And on your next inhale, you can slowly roll up to stand, placing each vertebrae on top of the previous until you're standing in a mountain pose at the front of the mat. In your mountain pose, check in with first the bottoms of the feet. The four corners should be pressing into the ground with such intensity. However, do not fall into those arches. You should have your arches up, up. Lifting in the arches, pressing the four corners of the feet into the ground. Lifting those toes into the air and then sighing them back down. Knees are soft. Ankles, knees, and hips are all in a line. You can go ahead and place your hands on your hips here. You can go ahead and do a few tucks and tilts of the tailbone. Shoulders are above hips. Arms can release at either side. Mountains don't just stand there. So when standing in mountain pose, you can have active arms, spreading those fingers out, reaching them in all directions. Do a quick body scan here. Check in with those glutes. Make sure you're not holding any tension there. Check in with your jaw, back of the neck. From here, we're going to lift the arms into the air for Urdhva Hastasana. I want you to check in with the ribs. If they're tilting up, go ahead and tuck them back inside those shoulders, down your back. Act like you're holding a beach ball between your two arms. Make sure your knees are nice and soft here. Focusing on pointing that belly button towards the front of the room. right? We're gonna move the belly button and we're gonna leave the hips where they are. Does that make sense? We're gonna twist like we're wringing out a rag. So it's above the belly button, that twist, really. Okay, so we're holding the beach ball. We're gonna go ahead and twist to the left, feeling that belly button stretch, but leaving those hips where they are. Feeling maybe an openness in the outer opposite hip from your twist. On your next inhale, come back to the center and we'll exhale to twist to the opposite side. Leaving those hips where they are, feeling that belly button wrenching like a towel. I don't know. Wringing out. Exhaling back to the center. You can release that beach ball for a second. Give your arms a little rest. We'll lift the arms back up, holding on to that beach ball from here. We're gonna go ahead and bend to the one side, still holding on to that beach ball. Opening up in our ribs and intercostal muscles like we did earlier, pressing the feet into the mat, feeling openness in both side bodies. On your next inhale, we'll come back to center and then exhale to the opposite side. Again, holding that beach ball, pressing those heels into the ground, feeling an opening in your intercostal muscles all the way up your side. And then on your next inhale, we'll come back to the center. From here, we'll bend back, shining that chest towards the ceiling, bringing that beach ball back like we're gonna throw it really, really hard. Opening up maybe under the ribs. Maybe your belly button is stretching nice and tall here. Again, checking in with those sit bones, making sure you're not holding any tension there or the back of the neck or the jaw. We're going to exhale to fold forward, holding onto that beach ball, pressing it into the ground. For this forward fold, you can come a little bit deeper than your last one. Either your knees are a micromillimeter more straight or you're folded forward a micromillimeter or more. You can act like you're over a clothesline or like there's a belt around you with a hook in it. And then here, maybe you want to grab opposite elbows and sway back and forth. Or maybe you want to interlock your fingers back behind your back. Want to feel a stretch in the back of the leg. Feel the legs and the head pulling towards the same direction in opposite directions. You can release your hands wherever they are. From here, we'll place the hands on shins, nice long flat back. On your next inhale, we'll gently roll up to stand, placing each vertebrae on top of the previous one. So then we'll keep our hands to the side. Place your hands on your hips if you'd like. We're going to start with just tilting and tucking the tailbone. Just tilting and tucking the tailbone. Opening up all the intestine, lower digestive systems, waking up everything down below your belly button. And then when you feel like you've had enough of those, you can just go from side to side and see if you can move just your hips here, freezing those knees in place, just moving the hips back and forth. And then from here, we'll go ahead and take your hips to the left, then forward, the right, then back. Again, Isolating the movement just to the hips, keeping those knees as straight as possible, as calm as possible. And then when you've made enough of your rhomboids, parallelograms, enough of your diamond shapes, you can go ahead and make it into a circle. Again, using isolating the movement just to the hips, maybe the area from the belly button to bottom of my shorts. And keeping those knees nice and as stationary as possible. I mean, it's impossible to keep it completely stationary, but you know. And then when you've had enough of that, you can come to stillness and we'll go to the other side, to the left, forward, the right, and back. Left, forward, right, and back. And then smooth it out. I really got my knees involved then. Just smooth it out, trying to isolate the movement to the hips. Waking up all those digestive organs, waking up your fifth, sixth, and seventh chakras. And then when you're ready, had enough of that, you can go in the opposite direction a few times. And then if you'd like, you can get your knees involved and get in some crazy shapes. Opening up those hips, waking up. Maybe the outer edge of your hips is a little bit more stretched when you go out crazy circles with your hips. Blah. All right. Then when you've had enough of that, you can come to stillness. Imagine whatever you want to fold over, as long as you're folding over something in your mind. Exhaling, folding forward over that object, releasing everything from your head, your arms down to the mat, releasing everything from your hips down into the mat in the opposite direction. Breathing here. From here, I'll bring the hands to your shins for a nice long flat back. Exhale, fold forward, plant your hands, step back to plank pose. Lower your knees, chest and chin to the mat. Inhale for a low cobra or upward facing dog. Then press back to a down dog. In downward facing dog, we're going to lift one leg in the air. We're going to lift the left leg in the air. Three-legged dog. Open up to the side. If you'd like, you can bend your knee and drop your foot back behind you and lift your arm in the air for rock star pose. If you'd like to stay here, just see if you can help the weight of your foot to pull your hip open. Your breaths here. On your next exhale, you can come back to your downward facing dog. You can hop or step forward to the forward fold at the front of the mat. Inhale, hands on shins, nice long flat back. Exhale to fold forward and inhale to gently roll up to stand. Standing in mountain pose, checking in with the feet. Make sure you're not falling into those insoles. Make sure you're not falling into those arches. You're lifting in the arches, placing all four corners of the feet onto the mat. Inhaling the arms above the head for Urdhva Hastasana. Exhaling to fold forward. Inhale, hands on shins, nice long flat back. Exhale, fold forward, plant your hands, step back to plank pose. Lower your knees, chest and chin to the mat. Inhale for a low cobra or upward facing dog. And press back to downward facing dog. Lifting the opposite leg in the air for three-legged dog. Bend the knee. Option to drop that foot behind you for rock star pose and lift your arm. If you're still where I am, just use the weight of that foot to drop and pull down the hip to open it up a little. On your next exhale, you can come back to your downward facing dog. Hop or step forward to a forward fold at the front of the mat. On your next inhale, you can place your hands on shins, nice long flat back. Exhale, folding forward and inhaling to gently roll up to stand. Standing in mountain pose at the front of the mat. Checking in with the bottoms of the feet, lifting up in those arches. On your next inhale, we'll lift the hands above the head for Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, hands on shins, nice long flat back. Exhale, fold forward, plant your hands, step back, plank pose. Lower your knees, chest and chin to the mat. Inhale for a low cobra or upward facing dog. And press back to down dog. From here, we're going to place the right knee down on the mat, swing that left foot over, and lift your arm up for a supported side plank. On your next exhale, bring your hand down, place that foot back behind you for your downward facing dog. Step, or hop forward, so a forward fold at the front of the mat. Place your hands on your shins for a nice long flat back. Exhale to fold forward and inhale to gently roll up to stand. Standing in mountain pose at the front of the mat. Checking with the bottoms of the feet. Inhaling the arms above the head for Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale to fold forward. On your next inhale, place your hands on your shins, nice long flat back. Exhale, fold forward, plant your hands, step back to plank pose. Run through your vinyasa or lower your knees, chest and chin to the mat. Inhale for a low cobra or upward facing dog. And press back to down dog. From here, we'll place the left leg down, swing that right foot over, and bring your right arm up for a supported side. Exhaling your hand down, coming back into your downward facing dog. Step forward to a forward fold at the front of the mat. On your next inhale, bring your hands to your shins for a nice long flat back. Exhale to fold forward and inhale to gently roll up to stand. Standing in mountain pose at the front of the mat, check in with the bottoms of your feet. Make sure you're not falling into those arches. On your next inhale, we'll lift the arms in the air for Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, hands on shins, nice long flat back. Exhale, fold forward, plant your hands, step back to your plank pose. Run through your vinyasa or lower your knees, chest and chin to the mat. Inhale for a low cobra, upward facing dog. Press back to a down. On your next exhale, you can hop or step forward to a forward fold at the front of the mat. On your next inhale, you can place your hands on your shins for a nice long flat back. Exhale to fold forward and inhale to gently roll up to stand. Standing in mountain pose at the front of the mat. Take a nice big inhale and a nice big exhale. Check in with your feet. Check in with your shins, your knees, your thighs, your hips, your chest, your shoulders, your arms, your neck. Make sure you're not holding any tension anywhere. On your next inhale, let's bring the arms up for Urdhva Hastasana. If you'd like to heel toe your feet together, you certainly may. On your next exhale, we'll come into chair pose, bringing your hands forward. Your tailbone is tilted, is tucked under. Your tailbone is tucked under, and your arms are outstretched. If your heels pop up, that's okay. Mine will. Your next exhale, you can fold forward. Plant your hands here, and we'll step back to plank pose. Run through your vinyasa or lower your knees, chest and chin to the mat. Inhale for a low cobra or upward facing dog. And press back to down dog. Lifting the left leg, right leg in the air. Let's lift the right leg in the air for a three-legged dog. Bend your knee, open up your hips. You're gonna swing this foot forward, help it if you need to. So you're in your low lunge. Coming into this nice sturdy low lunge, front leg is bent at a 90-degree angle. We're gonna drop the back knee down. Feel the pull between your heel and your knee here as you glue the top of the foot to the mat. Inhale your arms into the air, gazing at the thumb for a gentle back bend. You can always pull the belly button forward here. Exhaling to frame the front foot. We're going to tuck the back toes under, kick that back foot up so that both heels are on the ground. Maybe 12 inches, maybe 18 inches. Your hands can be on the mat here. They can come to blocks if you'd like. Your forehead is reaching towards your shin in this beautiful runner's stretch. Maybe you can feel it in the back of your front thigh. Maybe you can feel it in the back of your back calf. When you're ready, you can kick that back foot back, kick that front foot back to meet, back calf. Come into your plank pose. Lower your knees, chest and chin, or run through your vinyasa. Come up for a low cobra or upward facing dog, and press back to a down dog. On your next inhale, we'll lift the left leg into the air, three-legged dog. Exhale, bend the knee, swing that foot forward. Help it if you need to. Nice right angle in that front leg. You're going to drop that back knee down. Make any adjustments you need to. Make sure you're pulling this heel towards your knee and your knee towards your heel. It'll help you balance. So you lift your chest into the air. You can pull that belly button forward if you'd like, and lift your hands to gaze at your thumb for a gentle back. On your next exhale, you can frame your front foot. We'll tuck the back toes under and kick that back foot up 18 inches, 12 inches, whatever you need to do to get both heels on the mat. From here, we're going to reach that forehead towards the shin. On your next exhale, you can step your feet back to your plank pose. You can run through your vinyasa or lower your knees, chest and chin to the mat. Inhale for a low cobra or upward facing dog and press back to a down dog. On your next exhale, you can hop or step forwards to the forward fold at the front of the mat. Checking in with the bottoms of the feet, making sure you're not falling into those arches. We're going to gently roll up to stand. Standing in mountain pose at the front of the mat. Go ahead and lift the arms into the air. Exhale, bring your hands down to heart center. We'll come into chair pose. From here, bring one of your elbows to the opposite knee and twist into a chair pose. It is easier possibly to have your feet together here. On your next exhale, we'll come back to the center. Inhale, nice big inhale here, and then exhale to the opposite side. Pressing your elbow against your knee and your palms against each other. On your next inhale, we'll come back to center. Exhale to fold forward. Plant your hands. We'll step back to plank pose. Run through your vinyasa or lower your knees, chest and chin to the mat. Inhale for a low cobra, upward facing dog. And press back to a down dog. On your next inhale, we'll lift the right leg into the air, three-legged dog. Exhale, bend the knees, swing the foot forward, help it if you need to. You're gonna lower that back heel down. Windmill the arms up, so we're in warrior one. Nice right angle in that front knee, as close as you can get it. On your next exhale, release your hands behind you, interlace your fingers back behind your back, then bring that shoulder to your knee for humble warrior. On your next exhale, you can press back to your warrior one. Take a nice big inhale here. Exhale to frame that front foot. Kick that front foot back to meet the back. Roll forward to plank. Run through your vinyasa or lower your knees. Chest and chin to the mat. Inhale for a low cobra or upward facing dog. And press back to a down dog. On your next inhale, you can bring that left leg into the air for three-legged dog. Bend that knee. Open up those hips. Swing your foot forward. Help it if you need to. Making a nice right angle in that front knee. We're going to angle that back ankle down. So your foot's at a 45-degree angle, and we'll windmill the arms up to our warrior one. Hips are pointed towards the front of the mat. On your next exhale, you can release your hands back behind you. You can interlace the strange thumb on top this time, and bring your shoulder down to your heel. Shoulder down to your knee. On your next inhale, you can come back to your warrior one. Exhale to frame that front foot. Kick that front foot back to meet the back. Plank pose. Lower your knees, chest and chin, or run through your vinyasa. Inhale up forward, upward facing dog, or down dog, pressing back to downward facing dog. Few breaths in down dog. On your next exhale, you can hop or step forward to a forward fold at the front of the mat. On your next inhale, you can gently roll up to stand, placing each vertebrae on top of the previous. One. Okay, standing in mountain pose at the front of the mat. You can heel toe the feet together if you'd like. We'll lift the arms up into Urdhva Sthasana. Exhaling into chair pose. Big inhale here. Exhale, fold forward, plant your hands, step back to plank pose. Run through your vinyasa or lower your knees. Chest and chin to the mat. Inhaling for low cobra, upward facing dog. And pressing back to a down dog. On your next inhale, we're going to lift the right leg into the air, three-legged dog. Exhale, bend the knees, swing the foot forward. Help it if you need to. We're going to rotate that back heel down. This time we're going to windmill the arms up, so we're in a warrior two. Gluing the outer edge of that back foot to the ground, pointing that knee forward. You're going to take that palm forward and then back to reverse your warrior. Not dumping any weight in this hand here. Keeping that right angle in your knee. Straightening out the leg here, reaching forward and then down, high Monty. So you're in triangle pose. On your next inhale, you can come back to warrior two. Then we'll exhale down to side angle pose. On your next exhale, you can windmill your arms down and kick your leg back so you're in your plank pose. Run through your vinyasa or lower your knees, chest and chin to the mat. Inhaling for a low cobra or upward facing dog. And pressing back to a down dog. On your next inhale, lifting the left leg into the air for three-legged dog. Exhale, bend the knees, swing the foot forward, up it if you need to. We're gonna rotate that back heel down. That nice right angle in that front knee. And then we'll windmill the arms up for warrior two. Arms in one straight line, reaching from fingertip through the shoulders to the other fingertips. Releasing any tension you have in your glutes. Reaching that front palm forward and then back to reverse your warrior. Straightening out that front knee, reaching forward and down for triangle pose. On your next inhale, we'll come back to our warrior two. And then exhale down for side angle pose. From here, you can windmill your arms down to frame that front foot. Kick that front foot back to meet the back. Plank pose. Run through your vinyasa or lower your knees. Chest and chin to the mat. Inhaling for a low cobra, upward facing dog. And pressing back to a downward dog. Breathing in down dog. On your next exhale, you can hop or step forward to a forward fold at the front of the mat. On your next inhale, you can gently roll up the stand, placing each vertebrae on top of the previous. All right, standing in mountain pose at the front of the mat. You can heel toe those feet together if you'd like. We'll inhale the arms up, exhale down to triangle pose. Exhale down to chair pose. Nice big inhale in chair pose. Exhale to fold forward. Heel toe those feet back out. Plant your hands and step back to your plank pose. Run through your vinyasa or lower your knees. Chest and chin to the mat. Inhaling for a low cobra, upward facing dog. And pressing back to a down dog. On your next inhale, lifting that right leg into the air. Exhale, bending your knees, swinging that foot forward. Help it if you need to. Rotating that back heel down. We're going to windmill the arms up for warrior two. We're going to bring that palm forward and then back. Then we're going to straighten out that knee, come forward and down for triangle pose. From here, we'll go into warrior two and then down into side angle. You're going to windmill the arms down and come into a wide-legged forward fold. You can walk your fingertips back. And then walk your fingertips forward so you're back in line with your feet. From here, we're just going to bend the knees one at a time. You can go as deeply or as shallowly with your bends as you'd like. Maybe you want to walk your fingertips over to that knee that bends. You can also just leave them in the center if you'd like. When you feel like you got those knees nice and juicy and those hips nice and juicy, you can come back to your wide-legged forward fold. We'll walk those fingertips back to frame that front foot. Kick that front foot back to meet the back so you're in your plank pose. From here, we're going to lower the knees, chest and chin, or run through your vinyasa. Come up to a little cobra upward facing dog and pressing back to downward dog. From here, we'll lift the left leg into the air, three-legged dog. Exhale, bend the knees, swing that foot forward. Help it if you need to. You're going to rotate that back heel down and windmill the arms up so you're in warrior two. You're going to bring that forearm forward and then back to reverse your warrior. You're going to straighten out the knee, come forward and down for triangle pose. Inhaling back up to warrior two, exhaling down to side angle. From here, we will come back into our wide-legged forward fold. And from here, we're just going to heel toe the feet in so we're in a really wide squat. We're going to go through 3 squats. So just do a really wide squat. Maybe your heels are down, maybe your hips are open. And just breathe here. And then from here, you can bring that butt back up in the air. Maybe you want to heel toe those feet in a little bit closer for your normal squat. Maybe your heels come up, maybe your bum goes down. You just want to breathe here. And then lastly, you can bring your hands back down, push that bum back up, and then heel toe those feet together as close as you think you can. You can bring them all the way in if you'd like. Maybe your heels go way up high, because mine certainly do. Just a nice little malasana. From here, you can drop those hands down, bring that butt back up in the air. Heel toe those feet up back, bring your hands around. We'll come back into our plank pose. You can run through your vinyasa or lower your knees, chest and chin to the mat. Inhaling for a little cobra, upward facing dog. And pressing back to a down dog. On your next exhale, you can hop or step forward to the forward fold at the front of the mat. On your next inhale, we'll gently roll up to stand, placing each vertebrae on top of the previous one. All right. Beautiful. From here, we'll do our balancing poses. So bring it up a little bit. Still can't see me. All right. You can wake up the bottoms of the feet if you want. From here, you're going to press all 4 corners of one foot down. You can kickstand that ankle to the heel to the ankle. You can place that foot on your calf, or you can bring that heel into the inner thigh. Hands will be on your hips at heart center or branches blowing in the breeze. You can choose a spot on the wall that's not moving to help you balance. Let me know. No. When you're ready, you can move that foot from your leg, bring that knee forward, straighten out the leg, lift up the foot, maybe a little higher, and let it go. Maybe you want to give a massage to that muscle on the outer edge of that standing leg. And we'll wake up the bottom of the other foot, put all 4 corners of the feet onto the ground, kickstand that heel to your ankle, maybe press the foot against the calf, or bring that heel into the inner thigh. As long as your foot is not touching your knee, hands can be at heart center, or on your hips, or branches blowing in the breeze. You can pick a stationary spot to stare at that'll help you balance. You can remove your foot from your leg. You can bring that knee forward. You can extend that foot, maybe a little higher, and then let it go. Maybe you want to give a massage to that standing leg of the other foot. And then we'll come back to our mountain pose at the front of the mat. Breathing in mountain pose here. You're gonna lift the arms up for Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale to fold forward, plant your hands, step back to plank pose. You can run through your vinyasa here or lower your knees, chest and chin to the mat. Inhale for a low cobra, upward facing dog, and press back to down dog. From here, we're gonna lift the right leg into the air for three-legged dog. We're gonna bend the knee, swing the foot forward, help it if you need to. We're gonna put it on the outside of the hands. So you have hand, hand, foot. You're gonna bend that knee, come into a lizard pose. If you're happy here, you can stay. You can always bring that back knee down. You can bring your forearms to the mat. You can bring your forearms to blocks. Or you can just stay with your hands and legs extended. All right, on your next inhale, we're gonna do the hard part. So focus in on that belly button. Pull that belly button nice and taut towards the back of the spine. And we are going to lift that foot back up into a three-legged dog. From here, you can bend that knee again and bring that shin forward. Set yourself up for pigeon pose. You can bring your hip in line with your heel here. Give yourself any support you may need. Lifting your chest up and then folding down for pigeon pose. On your next inhale, you can lift your head, neck, and chest off the mat. Move any props you may have. Bring your legs back into a tabletop pose. You can tuck those toes under, press yourself back into a downward facing dog. From here, we'll lift those heels into the air. Exhale, bring them back down to the mat. Lifting that left leg into the air, three-legged dog. Bend the knees, swing the foot forward, help it if you need to. We're gonna do it. Put the foot on the outside of the hand, so it's hand, hand, foot. Nice right angle in this front leg. Coming into a lizard pose. If you're happy here, you can stay. You can always drop that back knee down, or you can bring your elbows down to the mat or elbows down to blocks, or you can just breathe here. All right. On your next inhale, focus in on that belly button and lift that foot back up to three-legged dog. Bend that knee again, exhale, and come forward to your pigeon pose. You can set that heel up in line with your hip or your hip in line with your heel. Lift your head, neck, and chest into the air. Make sure your leg is coming back from behind you in a nice straight line. And then exhale to fold forward and come into pigeon pose. On your next inhale, you can lift your head, neck, and chest into the air. Come back into a tabletop pose. We'll tuck those back toes under and press back into a downward facing dog. On your next exhale, we'll hop or step forward. Turn a forward fold at the front of the mat. Inhale to gently roll up to stand. I just want to drink the water. All right. Give yourself a little shake out. Exhale to fold forward, plant your hands, step back. And then we'll lay down in one motion onto the mat and roll onto our backs. Stomach time. Thank you. From here, you can windshield wiper out the legs, back and forth, the knees. The feet can be about mat width distance apart. And when you're ready to come to stillness, you can place your heels so you can just about graze them with your fingertips. If you'd like to come into a supported bridge pose, you can always place a block underneath your sacrum here. If you'd like to come into an active bridge, you can tuck your tailbone a few times here. And when you're ready, you can tuck that tailbone under, lift those hips into the air, and come into a bridge pose. You can always bring your shoulder blades underneath you, interlace your hands back behind your back. Take 3 to 5 good breaths here.
Yeah, thanks.
You can release your hands, release your shoulders, release your spine back down to the mat. You can windshield wiper out through your knees again. And when you're ready to come to stillness, you can tuck that tailbone under, lift your hips into the air, and come into your bridge pose. Option to bring your shoulder blades underneath you and interlace your fingers back behind your back. 3 to 5 good breaths here. You can release your hands, release your shoulders, release your spine back down to the mat. Windshield wiper your feet out, back and forth. And when you're ready to come to stillness, you can tuck that tailbone under, lift your hips into the air, and come into your final active bridge pose. You can bring those shoulder blades underneath you, interlace your hands back behind your back. Take 3 to 5 good breaths here. And release your hands, release your shoulder blades, release your spine back down to the mat. We'll windshield wiper out the knees again. We're going to come into a gentle inversion. So that can just mean legs in the air. It can mean legs up the wall. It can mean supported shoulder stand. It can mean a block under your sacrum. We're just going to take a few breaths with the legs above the head. Release whatever prop you may have. You can release your legs back down to the mat. You can windshield wiper them back and forth again. We are going to place our left foot onto the mat. We're going to take the right ankle onto the left knee. Lift the left knee into the air and flex both feet. From here, we're going to grab the back of the left leg and press the right elbow or right knee away from you with the right elbow. If you're happy here, you can stay. If not, you can gently rock back and forth. Maybe find a spot that's a little bit more stuck or sore and it needs your breath. Maybe you need to pull that thigh closer to your body, or maybe you need to push that knee away from you a little bit more. When you're ready, you can release your hands from your leg, you can release your ankle from your knee, you can windshield wiper those knees back and forth again. Placing that left leg on the right knee, lifting that right leg into the air, flexing both feet, grabbing the back of the right thigh, and pressing that left knee away from you with your left elbow. If you're happy here, you can stay. If you need to find a spot that's a little bit more sore or stuck, you can do a nice gentle rock back and forth, maybe pulling the leg closer, maybe a little bit further away. Till you find a spot that's maybe a little bit more sore, maybe a little bit more stuck, maybe that needs your breath. Release your hands from your leg, release your legs from your knee. Go ahead and windshield wiper your knees back and forth a few times. From here, we'll hug the knees into the chest. You can roll back and forth. You can move them in a circle and give yourself a nice little back massage. Make sure you go both directions with your circle if you do that. Now, when you're ready, we'll drop to one side and come into your gentle twist. You can place one hand on your knee. You can place the opposite hand in front of your cactus arm, straight out to the side. You gaze at the ceiling or over your opposite shoulder. On your next inhale, you can bring both your knees back to the center. Rock back and forth a few times. You can give yourself a nice little massage. Make sure you go both directions. I know, Trey. I know. It's so terrible. And then you can go ahead and drop the knee onto the opposite side, knees onto the opposite side. Again, placing your hand over your knees or placing your arms out in front. Cactus arms are out straight in either direction. Your gaze can be up above or over the opposite shoulder. On your next inhale, you can lift your knees back to center. You can place your feet on the ground. You can windshield wiper your knees back and forth. And when you're ready, you can release your legs down. You can release your arms to either side. You can take a moment to thank your body for all the hard work you've done and let all that hard work seep into your muscles and bones. You can begin to bring your awareness back to the breath. You can make small movements in your fingers and toes. You can roll onto one side, taking one breath in the fetal position, using your arm as a pillow. And when you're ready, using that same slow quality of movement, roll up to a comfortable seat. And we'll close with one Om. Inhaling for Om. Om. Namaste.